This is Valley News Live at noon.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. A Fargo man is behind bars after driving over the Red Lake Dike through people's lawns and leading police on a chase in a stolen car. Officers tried to pull over the car in a neighborhood near the Edgewood Golf Course, but the driver took off. They spotted the car heading towards a bridge over the river, where Clay County deputies set up a tire deflation device and were waiting on the other side. 27-year-old Bradley Montero was arrested for fleeing police in possession of a stolen vehicle. Now, new for you at noon, a Moorhead man is charged in the death of a 6-year-old earlier this year, and he has pled guilty. In court documents filed yesterday, 33-year-old Philip Jones Jr., a felon, admits to owning the gun that killed the young boy. Moorhead police say several children were left inside alone at Jones' apartment, and that's back in March. A 6-year-old boy was found dead from a gunshot wound, and police later learned he was shot accidentally by one of the other children. Jones faces up to 10 years behind bars. A date for the hearing has not yet been set. Some drought relief is on the way for Minnesota farmers. Governor Walz announced a $10 million drought relief package this morning for farmers and livestock producers that were impacted by this year's drought. Many states experienced drought conditions due to low rainfall. The governor's proposal includes $5 million in rapid response grants to cover costs for items including water tanks, pipeline, wells, and irrigation equipment. The funding proposal also includes $5 million for zero-interest loans to cover lost revenue or expenses not covered by insurance. More details on the drought relief package will be announced soon. Well, fall colors have arrived in Fargo. As you can see here, this is so pretty. The tops of the trees are starting to get that first tinge of yellow. Let's check in with meteorologist Nathan Hopper to see what we can expect for the first weekend of fall. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Brian, good news is if you do want to get out and enjoy some of the colors across Minnesota or North Dakota, conditions this weekend will be top notch for that. Today, though, a little on the breezy side. Look at our Dakota Magic Casino sky cam. Look at that wind whipping those flags there. And that's what we're seeing a lot of here across the region is that high pressure is making its way in. But you can see sunshine down there in the Hankinson area thanks to, of course, yes, that high pressure. The clouds we had around this morning, gone. Well out toward the east, maybe a few lingering clouds on the very edges of Beltrami County and maybe a few passing clouds out toward the Carrington, New Rockford areas. But really, that's all we're looking at for that satellite and radar imagery at this hour. Temperatures, though, are still cool. We're in the 50s and 60s for most everybody. 62 in Fargo at this hour, 61 Detroit Lakes. Still seeing some very cool temperatures here in portions of southern Canada. And that will, of course, be hanging around and still moving in as the northwest winds will stick with us here for this afternoon. Take a look at these temperatures and related to the wind speed. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour here in Fargo, but look at those temperatures dropping right off the table. Where we're at now is about as warm as we'll get for the afternoon, staying in the lower 60s for us in Fargo, and then cooling also for our friends in Grand Forks. By 8 p.m. for those football games, 55 degrees in Grand Forks. Of course, Brian, the weekend is upon us. We'll break down that full weekend forecast in a few minutes.
That sounds good. Well, thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
The North Dakota Department of Health is urging certain people who received Pfizer's COVID vaccine to get a booster shot. The CDC finalized a recommendation yesterday for those over 65 or with underlying conditions or with high risk of exposure at work. The Department of Health says the recommendation does not mean the vaccine isn't working. Hospitalization rates are up to 22% higher in unvaccinated adults, and those who are vaccinated are 5 times less likely to get sick from the virus. The booster doses may not be available until late next week. Well, happening now in Fargo, the city is hosting a virtual COVID-19 public briefing to address some urgent concerns. Fargo city officials are joined by representatives from Sanford and Essentia Health, as well as the chairman of the Cass County Commission and the president of the West Fargo City Commission. On the agenda, critical hospital capacities, staffing shortages, antibody rationing, and an appeal for people to utilize mitigation strategies like vaccinations and masking while indoors. You can listen in on the meeting on our website, valleynewslive.com. Now imagine not being able to do something you love because of a physical disability. Twist of Fate is providing an outlet for hunters that once felt it was impossible to enjoy the hobby. A group of 12 hunters are at the camp in Leonard, North Dakota to take on the joy of hunting without letting their physical disability hold them back. Some good news for these hunters. They were able to get in 1 deer last night and 2 deer early this morning. The camp provides meat from the harvested deer to go home with the hunter, 3D target practicing, and of course, campfires. Hunters just need to bring hunting clothes with a comfortable sleeping bag and pillow. These hunters are excited for the opportunity that they once felt wasn't possible.
I've never got anything with my bow except for 1 deer, and that was years and years ago. So to be able to come out here and have an opportunity to hunt with it and learn that, yeah, you know, I have to make some adjustments to what I'm normally used to doing, but, you know, I can bow hunt still.
This camp is hosted once a year at the end of September. Full details on our website, valleynewslive.com. With just 1 week left to help us stock the shelves of the Great Plains Food Bank. We raised more than $21,000 so far, and our goal is $50,000. Corwin Automotive is matching all gifts up to $50,000 made by the end of this month. You can find the link to donate right on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just look for the Stock the Shelves logo.